Back in 1971, my grandparents bought our current property, well, part of it. But ever since then, they have owned multiple different species of animals, and one breed that my granddad fell in love with were Black Angus cattle. So today, you're going to get to meet all of our current Angus herd. First up is John Adams. John Adams is a 3-year-old registered Black Angus who is our current herd sire for our cattle herd. We got John Adams back in July of 2024 from Double Creek Ranch, I believe. He's also the father to our current batch of calves. So far, John Adams has been amazing. He isn't very friendly like our last bull, George, but he hasn't tried to jump the fence, and he hasn't shown any interest in the neighbor's cattle, which is great. This is Midnight, a 5-year-old Black Angus cow who was born on our farm back in 2020. Midnight was born on January 23rd of 2020 out of our cow Aviva and our bull Ferdinand. Midnight was born in a very special year where we only had female calves born, so we kept her and 3 others, and she is currently one of the only 2 remaining out of those original 4. Midnight has given us 4 beautiful calves, including Ebony from last year and Comet from this year. Midnight is a very amazing cow, and I'm very blessed that we got to have her born on our farm, and she's been so amazing. She's a great mother, a great eater, and very friendly. Ebony is an unregistered 18-month-old Black Angus cow that was born on our farm back in 2024. Back on March 15th of 2024, Ebony was born on our farm out of our cow Midnight and our bull George. When Ebony was first born, she was a solid dark black color, with a few white spots underneath her belly, so my Grammy named her Ebony. That year, we decided to hold back Ebony and Bluebonnet, another heifer we had born that year, so Ebony was raised up, and just recently in July, she was put with our bull John Adams. Ebony is due to have her first calf on April 23rd of 2026. Abani is a very curious and nosy calf since she was just born. When she was just a few days old, she would follow us around and be very nosy, and I absolutely love her. And she absolutely loved her little brother who was born this year named Comet. Comet is an unregistered Black Angus calf who was born on our farm this year. Comet was our second calf born this year, and he was born out of our cow Midnight and our new bull, John Adams. After the loss of Comet's uncle, Tortuga, we ended up moving Comet into a pen by himself with his mom. At that time, I got to spend a lot of time with him, and he became very friendly. After 2 to 3 weeks, we had to put Comet and his mom back in with the herd, so I didn't get to see him every single day. Fortunately, he was still very friendly when I see him, and he really loves attention still, so spending all the time with him when he was little definitely paid off. I've recently got to spend quite a bit of time with Comet, and he's such a sweet and funny little guy, and I'm kind of sad that he's going to be leaving next week to go to the auction. But whoever gets him is going to be a very lucky person, because Comet is amazing. This is Tulip, a 6-year-old unregistered Black Angus cow. Tulip was born on our farm back in 2019 on May 10th. Her father was our current herd sire, Ferdinand, and her mother was 17, which makes her an aunt to Midnight. Tulip has recently been more aggressive like the 17 line has been, but she's still an amazing mom. In 2021, Tulip gave birth to a bull calf. In 2022, she gave birth to a heifer. In 2023, she gave birth to another heifer, Esther, who we actually retained, and then in 2025, she gave birth to our current calf, Toucan. This is Esther, a 2-year-old unregistered Black Angus heifer. Esther was our first heifer retained from our cow Tulip. She was born on our farm on June 8th of 2023. Unfortunately, the heifer we planned to raise up with Esther ended up passing away, so she was pretty much alone for a lot of her childhood. By alone, I mean she didn't have another calf her age. She'd either have younger calves or older cows with her. Esther is actually due to have her first calf in just a couple of weeks, so stay tuned to see that. Esther has a more reserved personality, but she's also been kind of dumb when she was younger, but I believe she's finally growing out of that. So let's go ahead and move on to her little brother. This is Toucan, our 4th calf that was born this year in 2025. He was born on June 30th out of our cow Tulip and our bull John Adams. Toucan's mom was very protective and would not let us go anywhere near him, so Toucan is not friendly at all. And Toucan is about to leave to go to the auction with his brother Comet. And this is Bluebonnet, an 18-month-old unregistered Black Angus heifer. Bluebonnet was born last year out of our cow Sunflower, and I actually caught her birth on camera. Bluebonnet is the last calf we kept from our cow Sunflower. Sunflower is an amazing cow, but unfortunately all of her heifers that we have retained have ended up having problems. But I've been praying, and I'm really hoping that she's not going to have any problems since she was bred to a stronger and a better genetic bull. Bluebonnet was actually named by my grandmother. Before I came along, all of these cows were named after flowers, and Bluebonnets were my granddad's favorite. I really love Bluebonnet. She's amazing, she's very friendly, so I'm praying she's going to have calves with no problems next year. This is September, a 6-year-old unregistered Black Angus cow. She was born on our farm back in 2019 out of our cow Sunflower, which makes her Bluebonnet's older sister. The special thing about September is she's actually my cow. She was given to me by my dad after we had to sell my last cow, Callie. And of course, September gave us her beautiful calf this year, May. Unfortunately, like her mom, she's been developing a leg problem and it gets really bad when she's about to give birth. Because of that, later this year or possibly next year, we plan on selling her. This is May, September's calf from 2025. May is an amazing little sweetheart who definitely thinks she runs the farm. May was our 5th calf born this year in 2025, and she was huge when she was first born. I initially thought her mama might have twins since she was so big and she was limping pretty hard, but nope, it was just a big heifer. Unfortunately, due to September's problems, we've had to move September into different pins, so May's had to be moved around as well. Since May's sire has a lot better genetics than her mom does, I'm praying that she has very strong legs and that she's an amazing cow. But either way, I really love this girl and she's definitely a blessing. This is Lily, a cow we no longer have, but she's an important asset for the cows you're about to meet. This is Poppy, a 6-year-old unregistered Black Angus cow who was born on our farm back in 2019. Poppy was the first calf we retained from our cow, Lily. And Poppy and Lily were so opposites that I didn't even realize Poppy was Lily's daughter until right now. Poppy was named after a flower to stay with the flower theme, but I actually named her after my grandpa who passed away, who we called Poppy. Poppy is very docile and has a great attitude, and she's an amazing mother. She actually gave us a calf this year named Petunia who we're possibly keeping, and Petunia looks amazing as well. This is Skylar, our 5-year-old unregistered Black Angus cow who was born on our farm back in 2020. Skylar is Lily's other daughter that we decided to retain. Skylar is just like her mom. She's very small and she's also kind of a little bit aggressive towards other cattle, but she's small so they just beat her up. Skylar has had 4 different calves and they've all been bulls, but her 2025 calf, who's a heifer named Sunny. Skylar also has like a weird thing that goes on after she gives birth. There's a certain type of bird that swarms her, but it never happens to her other cows. Besides that, Skylar doesn't really have any other flaws and she's a pretty good cow. This is Sunny, a 5-month-old unregistered Black Angus calf that was born this year. Sunny was our 4th calf born in 2025. And like I mentioned earlier, her mother is Skylar. Unlike her mom, Sunny has a bigger body build, which I believe is thanks to her sire, John Adams. So I'm really excited to see how Sunny turns out as she grows and matures. And of course, she was the cutest little calf when she was born. This is Petunia, our 3-month-old unregistered Black Angus calf that was born this year. Petunia was our 6th calf born in 2025. Her mother is Poppy and she's basically like a miniature version of her mom. She isn't as friendly as like Comet, but she's definitely docile just like her mom. And for being an unregistered cow, her body structure looks amazing and I'm very excited to see how she matures as well. The only quote-unquote flaw that Petunia has is that she's very small. She hasn't grown very much, but that's probably because she's from the Lily line. These are our last 2 cows, Patty and Sherry. Patty and Sherry we bought in 2024 and they were the first cows that we bought in a very long time. What's so special about them is that they are registered Black Angus cows. So obviously we are very excited. This is Sherry, her tag number is 23. She technically isn't even a year old yet. That's because she was born on the leap day of 2024, which was February 29th. Which is honestly bizarre to me and I really love her for that reason. Unfortunately, Sherry is very, very skittish, and I'm not really sure why, so she doesn't come up to us unlike her sister Patty. The really funny thing about Patty and Sherry is that came with the names Patty and Sherry, and those are the names of two of my dad's sisters. Sherry is just like my Aunt Sherry. She doesn't like people that much, she's more reserved, and the cow is a perfect example of that. This is Patty, an amazing cow. Her tag number is 24. Patty was born in March of 2024, which makes her about 18 months old. The only reason why we were able to get these two registered heifers is because of my grandmother, so both me and my brother get to own one of them. Which means I got to choose which one was mine, and Patty is my cow. So I have two cows. Well, three if you include May. Patty is so sweet and so goofy and so friendly, and I absolutely love her so much, and she's just like my Aunt Pat, which is really funny. There's not much else to say about Patty besides she's beautiful and she's amazing, and I'm so excited for her babies in 2026. I believe she's due in April. That was it. Patty was our last cow, so let me know in the comments below which cow, calf, or bull was your favorite. Seriously, don't be shy. I love getting comments and I love reading them and hearting them, so let me know in the comments below which cow or calf was your favorite, or even just ask me a question about the cows. See you guys in the next one.